Number 13, a figure composed of a right cone and a right cylinder with dimensions in feet is shown. What is the exact surface area in square feet of the figure? Kind of a long problem. So we have a cone and it's molded onto a cylinder and we want surface area. So I am assuming, okay, and there's no answer key for this question anywhere, that we are not going to count the surface area of this circle right here that I'm kind of highlighting for you, okay? So we're going to look at the surface area of this part of the cone that comes around here, and then of the cylinder itself, including the base at the bottom, but not the base at the top. And I went ahead and took the liberty of kind of drawing this out a little bit. Okay, I shaded in the parts that we're not counting. And we're going to go over to our formula sheet to get the formulas for the cone and for the cylinder. So surface area of a cone. There's two formulas. They mean the same thing. The base plus pi r times the height. Now, what is that big B? That big B is the area of base. Okay, so let's write this down. Base plus pi RH. Now, I'm not counting the base. The base itself is going to go right here, and then those wouldn't be part of your overall surface area. So assuming I am interpreting this correctly, and if you're a teacher out there or a student who knows this problem and I'm doing it wrong, for the love of all things, tell me. Because right now we have pi RH, pi times our radius is 1.5. I got that from the original problem, because the bottom base radius is going to match up with it, and that was given. And the height of our cone, we actually don't know. It's not 2.5. 2.5 is that diagonal, but if we draw our height in, look, it makes a right angle. It did tell us this is a right cone. So I can use Pythagorean's theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Pythagoras' theorem, I should say, but the Pythagorean theorem. 1.5 squared plus our height squared is equal to our hypotenuse squared. Okay, let's get out the old calculator. I hit the wrong button. Let me come in here. 1.5, hit our little square button, is 2.25. Plus b squared. Now, what is 2.5 squared? 2.5 square button, 6.25. Okay, so subtracting 2.25 from both sides, it works out beautifully because b squared is equal to 4, which is a perfect square. B is 2. Our height then is 2, okay? And this becomes 1.5 times 2 times pi. Now, they did ask for this answer in a decimal form. So I'm going to do 1.5 times 2 is 3 times, and I'm going to hit my pi button. They didn't say to use 3.14, so, I mean, you can. But I get 9.42. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. 9.42, and that's going to be in square feet. That's our cone. We need to add that to the surface area of our cylinder. Fortunately, the cylinder isn't going to be all that much work. Okay, square. Let's find a cylinder. And our surface area is 2 times base plus pH, where P is perimeter, okay? So 2B plus pH. 2 times our base, but because these are fused together, I'm not counting one of my bases. So I'm just using one of my bases plus perimeter perimeter is going to be 2 pi r, because it's actually the circumference of that base, times my height, which is 3. Okay? So the base itself, just one of them, is pi r squared plus perimeter of the circle, which is the circumference, or 2 pi r, times my height, and I'm running out of room here, which is h, or 3. Okay? That gives us, I already did 1.5 squared earlier. That gives us 2.25 pi plus 2 times 1.5 times 3. I can do it in my head, but you know what? We'll go ahead and use the calculator just so you can get some practice here. 1.5 times 2 times 3 gives us 9 pi. Oops. Erasable ink, because I'm a math teacher. Okay, so 2.25 plus 9 is 11.25 times pi. So I'm going to go ahead and do 11.25 times pi button, 35.34. And we need to add these two together because those are our two different surface areas. Okay, 9.42 plus 35.34. I'll use the calculator. It drives me crazy to use a calculator, but we'll do it. 35.34, and I get 44.76. That's still in squared feet. Okay, going over to our answers. Ignore that. Okay, what is the exact surface area in square feet of the figure? 44.76. Okay, I might need to ask a geometry teacher though, because if they're saying exact, do they want us to put this in terms of pi? I'm kind of thinking so. They didn't actually say what to round to. So if we go back, we're going to put this in terms of pi. Remember that was 3 pi. If we add 3 pi, 11.2 pi. 5 pi. Our exact answer would actually be 14.25 pi. So you know what? I'm kind of thinking that might be probably what they want. So let's put 14.25 pi, because to me, if you're saying exact answer, that is exact answer. That would have no rounding error on it. So that's probably what they're looking for. If you are a teacher or student familiar with this problem, please chime in the comments. I have no problem with that. If I screwed up something along the way, I have no problem admitting it. I sit here and do these problems. Really, this is the second time I've done them, but I just do them on the fly. I record it. That's why it gets wordy and everything else. And if I screw up, you gotta let me know so I'm not screwing up anybody else. Thank you.